your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Season 1, Episode 2, The Parker Luck Thoughts. The episode is rated TV Y7, FV. So this video will be another episode I love. Spoilers for these first two episodes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be spoiling any other. Honestly, let's just go with spoiling perhaps any Spider-Man movie that has come out by this point. So, yes, let's see, where should I start? Yeah, it's interesting how they keep, having these little, nods to the other Spider-Man media. I think they might be trying to imply, oh, hey, you could watch this. I don't know if you have already, but, I haven't checked in a while, but I can imagine let's see, last I checked, I think the only Spider-Man movie that wasn't on Disney Plus was like No Way Home. So yeah, there's other Spider-Man media for you to watch. So obviously it's not a surprise that Osborn offering an internship, because that is how it went with Tony. But in addition, we also have this thing of he meets Dr. Connors, just like in not just any The Amazing Spider-Man 1, but the Amazing Spider-Man 1. Though so far it is going in a different, we'll see if they're going to do the same thing as that movie did. Let's see. I think that might be what I have for that element. So, right, I like that, Peter is accepted by the other, football players. And yeah, I appreciate them making fun of weird, sports rituals. That struck a chord with me rather than a nerve. And let's see, that might be about right. I appreciate Nico, is sort of the conscience, the heart and soul of the show. In this episode with this thing of, yeah. I mean, it's very very based. The talking about how, pointing out the reality that people don't get as rich as Osborn without having done something. And that also does tell the audience at this point in this story, people don't know more about Norman Osborn than that he's rich and runs Oscorp and the science stuff and such. So that's also quite important information. Now, let's see. And yeah, she points out it's not as bad as if it was Roxxon, but just keeping an eye out. Yeah, I think that might get us to the... I did at first think that there was going to be some kind of consequence to him missing the game, but then that is, it's an expectation subversion. There's definitely going to be consequences to him not going to the party with Nico. She's going to feel, like he isn't taking their friendship seriously. And, yeah, Norman realizing that was also a thing. Like, as they were building up to him talking to Osborn in Osborn's office, like, now that Disney has Marvel, like, we knew, okay, there's going to be some kind of expectation subversion. They don't do this much build-up and then actually deliver exactly the thing that they've been building up to. There's going to be some other kind of thing, and, Peter thinks that he's going to be chewed out, and that's also the thing that we're encouraged to think. So, yeah, we can tell it's not going to be that. At first, I thought he was going to be like, oh, Peter, there you are, kind of thing. But no, he knows that Peter is Spider-Man, which, yeah, makes sense that Peter didn't realize just how many security cameras there were in the building. And we don't know. He's like a sphinx. It's impossible to read him. We can't tell yet exactly how Norman feels about that. It's just the kind of thing of like, so, this is a conversation. We're going to have to talk about this, but whether or not he's pro or con is like remains to be seen, because like at the end of the day I feel like, you know, maybe he's gonna be like, oh, I really admire Spider-Man, this is great, you know, but he might also be like, you know, if you're gonna be Spider-Man, you definitely can't do it on my security cameras because I'm not the only person watching them. And you know, yeah, I don't know, maybe he feels like there's some kind of, yeah, there's places they could go. I'm looking forward to it. And it is the thing of like, yeah, Tony also knew, yeah, Tony knew even sooner that Peter was Spider-Man in the MCU, but you know, that was very distinctly, very clearly recruitment, which was not a surprise to anyone that, you know, because by that point in that movie, we already know, okay, there's gonna be, you know, there's a big fight coming. Let's see. I think that does bring us to. Oh, and I suppose it is possible that in addition to Nico, it's possible Lonnie will be disappointed that Peter didn't show up to the party. No Petey Parky party. Partly, if he had made it, but let's see, there's definitely some stuff to talk about the internship itself. I'm trying to think of if there was anything else that I wanted to say. I think that is actually, yeah. So the internship, you know, he shows up, and the thing, you know, I can't be late. You're late. That was pretty funny. And let's see, what was the hold on, the yeah, 2 minutes early is technically 13 minutes late. And you know, yeah, he says, so where's Osborn? Where's Mr. Osborn's office? I was told to come see him. Yeah, right. Which, yeah, it really sucks when an authority figure just thinks that you will be believed if you say, and it's like, can you not tell some other person to maybe, you know, maybe you could give word to the person I'm supposed to be asking? It just, yeah, anyway, let's see, yeah, very cool that Dr. Amadeus Cho is there. So I don't know yet if that's just going to be a cameo, if they're actually going to do a story with him, because he is not just, they didn't create that character purely for the show. He has comic history. And very cool that, you know, Wakanda is mentioned. And she comes across as this very, like, warm character. And, let's see, I think that might be, yeah, it's very funny. The vulture looking dude talking about, you know, like, seriously, are they going to turn, is he going to turn out to be the Vulture? Because it's not Adrian Toomes. He has a different name, but the way he walks and his posture and the whole thing. Anyway, yeah, you know, the thing, I don't see anything. Yeah, Hawkeye. Didn't put the slide in yet. So, hey, a positive Hawkeye reference. Very nice. No Hawkeye slander. And let's see, I think that pretty much gets us to, right, yeah, figure there's also going to be, let's see, oh, right, yeah, I like the thing when, you know, Mr. Osborn wants to see you. Well, tell him, which, wow, okay, you are not afraid of losing your job, apparently, but oh, no, it's Peter, and they're like, oh, dead man walking. It was nice to know you, Pete. I'll send May your ashes. It's just like, holy crap. But let's see, I think that, nobody sees the warden. It's very dangerous to be called in to see the warden. And let's see. Yeah, the fight. Very, very cool. Let's see. I think his name was Butane. Who wants Boku Bucks? I don't know why. I've heard someone else say. Let's see. I think it was in Troopers. The by now old in internet time, College Humor series of sketches. I thought it was Buku. I don't know, maybe in that it was, but yeah, beaucoup, like, merci beaucoup, French for, like, a lot. So that makes more sense to me than, yeah, I don't know, beaucoup maybe it means something in some language I'm not familiar with. Anyway, or slang, whatever. Moving on. Yeah, I love when they get creative with action scenes, and this element of, first of all, just the fact that he's fighting someone who's got, like, flamethrowers on his hands, so we have that, he can't just, like, get close and punch him, or it's difficult to get close to him safely, is the thing. So, this is part of the appeal of comics, is seeing, characters have to get creative. And it's something the MCU has been quite good at for some time now. So it's not a huge surprise to see Disney Marvel doing it well. But yeah, in addition to that, also this thing of, Peter trying to save the animals. And it's the kind of thing of, like, it's not quite as intense as some of the comics made for teenagers, which a number of Spider-Man comics are. Originally it was made specifically for teenagers. It was only later that it was like, oh, kids like this too. He was one of those. There had been a while where comics was seen as something for kids, so a bunch of, like Shazam, a kid. Bucky was a kid, so that was how kids could get into Captain America, so on and so forth. Robin. Did Superman have one, or was that just like a parody joke? I forget. Anyway. And then, 60s started having teenagers, like Spider-Man. I want to say Johnny Storm was a teenager at first, and the X-Men, early on were all teenagers. Anyway, so yeah, in a comic for teenagers, it might be people who were going to be, but that's perhaps a little bit intense for 7-year-olds. So it's animals, because. And it does also make butane seem just a little less of a... Well, I guess depending on who you ask. But, I have an easier time believing that there's someone out there who would be completely okay with, like, yeah, if he accidentally kills one of these animals, it's like, it's just an animal. It's not a person. But, if... There are people out there who would be blasé about killing people as well, but at that point it's very intense too intense for a 7-year-old. Now, let's see, I think that, because, like, also in episode 1, I don't think I don't think they were gonna kill Harry. I think they were, they were going to hit him, beat him, but not, like, murder him. And there are Spider-Man villains that are out to kill. I think that does get us nice. But yeah, so many great little gags with him saving animals, and the thing of, like, having to, do not put gerbils, hamsters, too close to the snake. That's bad idea. Within moments, that snake unleashes the fury. And yeah, he uses the water to take out butane, water and fire, Pokemon logic. And let's see, yeah, now he's seen Peter very upset. And Peter does manage to save them because he doesn't want to be a fish murderer. And let's see, I think that does cover everything. So yeah, continuing to really dig the show. I wonder if every single episode is going to end on some big twist of like, what happens next kind of thing. Yeah. Yes. Next episode I cover should be in a slightly less than a week. Same, different spider time, same spider channel. Was there more to that sign off? I don't remember.